Hi everybody, Dave Wallace. It's that great time. It's time to have your customer renew their agreement with you. And as the renewal time comes, the decision that your customer is going to be making is really very simple. Whether or not they should stay with you. Now, at the core of the decision that they made to do business with you in the first place, there were a set of outcomes that they were expecting to achieve at the time that they signed their contract. So when it comes to that decision to keep on doing business with you, it's going to be their progress toward those outcomes that's going to be the determining factor. It's not going to be how cool your product is, and it's not going to be whether or not you have a great relationship. Now, if it turns out you do have this really great relationship, that's wonderful, but that relationship won't mean anything if they're not making any progress toward their desired outcomes. Now, so the first thing you have to do is you have to start documenting the results that they're getting as a result of working with you from the get-go. And what's going to happen is over time, you're going to have a series of meetings with them, and you've probably heard of these. They're called QBRs, Quarterly Business Reviews. And I believe that you should have these with all of your key customers. And this is where you have a conversation about the progress that you've made. And if you do these QBRs right, when it comes time to renewal, then everything is just kind of set up. The foundation has already been built, and the renewal just kind of flows. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. So that last meeting that you have is not going to be a QBR. And the reason is that QBRs have somewhat of a bad rap. Vendors or sellers like to use them, but customers don't like them so much because rarely do they take place quarterly, and very often what's discussed in the QBR is more about customer success, and it's not really those critical metrics that are important to the key business decision makers. So they might come to the first one and afterwards they don't come along. So you're not going to have a QBR, you're going to have a business review, and you're going to invite those key decision makers to that business review. And in that business review, you're going to really key in on the metrics that are important to those key business decision makers. And you're going to know what those metrics are because they will have come out as a result of the conversation you had about the desired outcomes that they expect to get from the work that they're doing with you. So you're going to key in on those metrics, and you're going to do so in a way that's going to be a story. Now, as you're telling this story and as you're reviewing the outcomes, there are going to be some qualitative outcomes, there are going to be some quantitative results, and there's going to be some anecdotal results. And the suggestion is that you use a mixture of all of those because doing so will grab and hold the attention of your audience. Now, it's also important because you're telling a story that you make sure you remember that this story is all about your customer. It's all about the results that they're trying to achieve and what they can do going forward if they continue working with you. It's not about how cool your company is and how great you are. The other thing that you can do is you can add more spice to your renewal, to your why stay story by using grabbers. A number play is a really powerful grabber to use. Also, a story with contrast can be used to make those documented results even more compelling. Now, what's really important is that you treat customer renewals with the same effort and the same attention that you do new prospect presentations. Because you can't count on your customer to be tracking whether or not they're getting the value out of this relationship that they thought they were going to get or that they expect to get. You need to do that heavy lifting. And if you do that heavy lifting and you demonstrate that in your business review meeting, then those business decision makers are going to understand, man, we made a great decision in doing business with this company, and they would be foolish to do anything other than just renew. Now, if you'd like to learn more, there's an email that's going to follow, and as always, thanks for your time.